रोशनी रोशनी उम्मीद है तामीर दाए रोशनी उम्मीद है
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning everyone. Today we are going to start new unit of biology subject. Unit number 11, name is homeostasis. Okay, so as we know that our today's topic is concerned to homeostasis. So first of all, let me define the word homeostasis. The ability to maintain the internal environment, the internal condition of the body constant is called homeostasis. My dears, living organisms have been evolved and adapted according to their environment, according to their surrounding. The condition and components of the external environment of the external surrounding keep on changing continuously with the passage of time. The changes in the external environment affect the internal environment too. With the changes in the external environment, the environment of internal condition also changes. However, the organisms overcome the effect of these changes. They make adjustment, they make their self-adapted in their internal environment. In this way, they try to maintain their internal environment in a constant condition, in a constant state. The most important component of the internal environment which are really affected by these fluctuation in external environment, fluctuation means ups down, kami wa zyadati. These are water, solids and temperature. Body fluids are important components of the internal environment, and these body fluids are made of water and solids. The water solid combinedly balance, commonly we call this water solid water salt balance in body fluids is very important. During the process of homeostasis, organisms maintain the water solid balance. The process by which the amount of water and solids are maintained in the body, are kept constant in the body, is called osmoregulation. Let me revise. Osmoregulation is the process by which the amount of water and solids are maintained in the body. Now excretion is the elimination, excretion is the removal of harmful solids, for example nitrogenous waste products and extra water from the body. We all know that all the metabolic reaction, that all the metabolic processes in the bodies of living organisms are catalyzed, are speed up by enzymes. We also know that each enzyme works best at a suitable body temperature. Changes in the temperature of the external environment also affect the internal body temperature, and it is one of the important factors. In homeostasis, organisms maintain their internal temperature with a tolerable range, and it is called thermoregulation. Thermoregulation is a process by which organisms maintain their internal temperature with a suitable range. Now the process of homeostasis in plants. My dears, like other organisms, plants also respond to the changes, to the stimuli occurring in the external environment, occurring in the surrounding, and keep their internal conditions constant. So, osmoregulation in plants, on the basis of the availability of water, there are 4 groups of plants. The process of osmoregulation differs in all these groups according to their need and structure. The first one is mesophytes. The word mesophyte means meso mean medium and phyte mean plants. So these are the terrestrial plants which live where sufficient means enough quantity, enough amount of water is available. They absorb water through their roots. Insufficient supply of water, the stomata are kept open to promote loss of excess water. When they face a shortage of water means when there is less water, so they control extra transpiration by closing their stomata. Most of their body surface is covered with waxy cuticle. which prevents these waxy cuticle prevents or avoid water loss. For example of mesophytes are maize, corn, clover and rose, etc. Xerophytes. Xero mean dry and phyte mean plants. Live in dry environments, for example deserts. And they have means xerophytes have deep roots for the sac to absorb water from almost dry soil. Their body surface has very few stomata and it is also covered with thick waxy cuticle for the sac to decrease the loss of water. Some xerophytes, for example, cacti, its singular is cactus. They store water in their specialized stems or roots. Such stems or roots are soft and juicy because of the stored water and they are called succulent organs. Third one is halophytes. Halo means salt and phyte means plant. Live in habitats with salty waters, for example sea or salty marshes. Since their bodies have less salt concentration as compared to the external environment, the concentration of salt is less as compared to that of the external environment, external surrounding. Water tries to move out from their body into the environment. Such plants absorb salts from external water by active transport. In this way, water does not move out of the cell, and the excess salt can be stored in cells or excreted out or removed out from the salt glands on leaves. Many seagrasses are included in this group, means in halophytes. The last one type is hydrophytes. Hydro mean water and phyte mean plants. These are the plants which live in fresh water like ponds, rivers, streams, lakes, etc. Are also in wet soil. Water keeps on entering their bodies through their overall surface, through their whole surface. They remove this extra water from their bodies by different ways. For example, many hydrophytes have broad leaves which float on the surface of water, and these broad leaves have a large number of stomata on their upper surfaces. Water moves out of their body through these stomata, through these pores, and the most common example of such plants, the most common example of hydrophytes is the water lily. Dear students, your today's assignment is to make 5 MCQs, 5 blanks and 5 true false from this topic. Take care and Khuda Hafiz.